Hey everybody, this is Smart CRNA here. So in this video, I'm going to show you how I'm preparing for exam 4, and it'll also be more of a walkthrough tutorial for you guys who don't know how to use RemNote, have never used it before. The first thing you want to do is go ahead, you want to come to this create tab, you want to click folder, and you want to create a folder. So you'll go advanced health assessment, which I will put just demo because I've already have the folder and I just want to show you guys. Once you're done with that, you can create another folder, or actually you can just stay in this and you could just create subfolder. You can call it exam 1, create another subfolder, call it exam 2, create another folder, call it exam 3. And then once you have all that, you should have something on the side that looks similar to this, which is what I have, right? Which is here, my advanced health assessment, all the way to the final exam. And each exam that you have, you just want to put in all of the materials that you'll be tested on for that exam, whether it's the PowerPoint, the chapter slides, or chapters from the book. If you have your teacher's transcript, you can add that. And you want to keep it organized, so when you go to do flashcards and test yourself on the material, you're testing yourself all on those topics that are going to be in exam 1, 2, or 3, right? So then when you want to go and you want to do flashcards, all of the flashcards are available for you to do, right? And you're able to just kind of knock out a whole bunch of questions, a whole bunch of flashcards, and things of that nature. So the organization is going to be key to helping you. As you can see, all of my decks are paused because I've already passed these exams and I don't need them anymore. But going into my current folder, I have all of my exam documents, the PowerPoints, the transcripts, and now we're working on the final exam. So these are all the documents that I'm going to need for the final exam, which I have added. What I've already been doing this exam to make it more smoother and to improve efficiency with my time. I'm gonna let me call this deck. I want to call this transcript active learning. Okay, because these are going to be, this is my teacher's transcript and I'm just creating closed flashcards based on the things that she said in class. So right now I've done a pretty good amount. So I think I'm here with obsessions and repetitive and irrational thoughts. So if you find something interesting that your teacher says, you just come here and you just highlight it like the way I'm highlighting it, right? And since this is a closed card deck, I'm just going to do closed cards. So I'm looking for like kind of like the last sentence based on the topic. So right now she's talking about obsession. So they're often ritualistic and provide a temporary sense of relief. This makes no logical sense. So get somebody might have a compulsion to follow through on kind of action. In order to relieve this sense, anxiety, frustration. Okay, now she's talking about phobias here. So I'm just going to go and click bold create, because you could choose some of these cards, but if you want to be more efficient with your time and get your flashcards done out the way, you can just go to flashcards and click close. You can also click advanced settings to change the AI model. So I'm using Claude. You could use ChatGPT if you want to. And therefore it just created me a whole bunch of closed cards. Hopefully I didn't lag it, but it just created me a whole bunch of closed cards. And as you can see, it is separated by sections. So we have obsessions. This is everything that my teacher has said in the lecture based on obsessions. This is everything my teacher said based on compulsions. This is everything my teacher said based on preoccupations. So if your teacher tests directly from the lecture or says a lot of things in class or from the PowerPoint, this is an efficient way to take notes, whether you're in class and you're taking notes, or you have the PowerPoint, you can take notes directly off the PowerPoint. This will be a more efficient way to save you time, so you can spend more time with your loved ones and retain the information a lot faster and leave the part of prep behind at a much sooner rate. Instead of 10 hours of prep time, now you have about 1 hour of prep time or 2 hours of prep time, and then you're able to just get straight to studying. So as you can see, I've done this multiple times. Obviously I was originally starting this with a question deck, but I eventually decided to change it and keep it closed. So I will be deleting these questions so it can be just closed flashcards only. And I think we can go ahead and just delete them now, just so I can show you guys how to delete. So you'll just highlight sections if you don't like it and you just delete them. So I'm deleting these in real time just to show you guys how I'm deleting it. I'm just highlighting, backspace, highlighting, backspace. These are some generally good questions, but I've already separated and created my own question deck that when I want to get to testing myself on the material, I just want to focus on that question deck. When I want to focus on learning the material, I want to focus on what I call this active deck, which is this active learning. So we're going to go now to the exam folder if you've done that, and now you have the active learning deck. And when you go to practice all flashcards, these should be the cards that you've created. Right now it says I have 87. Once you click show answer, you either click skip, which will show you in an hour. You click forgot, it will show you in a minute. If you click remembered, it probably won't show you that card. Now the best way to really practice this is to use the spaced repetition model. And what you can do is you can change the exam date, right? So you want to go to priority, you want to go to active, right? Or actually you want to click exam, right? You want to set a date. You're saying only this document, but that's not true. We're using the whole document, but just for an example, let's say the exam was the 23rd. Now it gives you a study plan that best suits you. It's suggesting that it's recommending you start today and do 4 repetitions of cards, best for the exam in the next few weeks. It's basically saying that retrievability period, meaning retrieving it from your brain, you're going to start having an increase in that learning period to retrievability period around April 22nd, which is pretty good. So let's follow that plan. We'll confirm the schedule and then we can do it like that. And therefore now it's telling me I have 32 flashcards due today out of 87. They're going to show me these cards 4 times a day in order to practice the material and become more efficient in learning it. Moving on to the question deck, as you can see, I uploaded the transcript twice. I'm just creating questions. We talked about obsession. I think I've done that one already. I think we're moving on to phobias and irrational fears. So this is a section or a topic that my teacher was talking about in the lecture. You're going to highlight that and you're going to go through everything that is based on that specific topic, right? So we're going when assessing for abnormal thoughts such as delusions, hallucinations, for example. And if your teacher touches it based on like 3 sentences, you can just highlight a little bit more, but I recommend you not to do like 3 pages of highlighting. Do bulks of paragraphs. Those create the best questions and the best cards for you. So let's stop right here. Assisting a patient's insight and judgment is crucial for understanding how they comprehend a situation. They're different but related. Insight refers to patients. All right, so we'll stop here where she says insight refer to patient. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to create bulk. And instead of doing flashcards, I'm going to do multiple choice quiz. Right? I'm going to create the max amount of cards, which was 20, because that was a lot of information that my teacher was talking about that I highlighted. So I want to make sure that I've covered a wide area of topics in that area. So if you like these questions, you like the way they're formatted, you can keep it and maintain the same AI model that you're using, which is Claude. If you don't like the questions, you can change the AI model and you can use ChatGPT. And I'll show you that here, right? So it's still creating cards. I asked it to create 20. It's still creating more questions, still going. It finally finished and it told me I requested 20, but could only generate 15 from the information that I provided. That's okay. Now we'll go to ChatGPT and see what type of style does ChatGPT type questions. That's why you see GPT 4o mini, that's ChatGPT. So if you like these type of questions where ChatGPT kind of makes some kind of basic questions like what might prevent patients from sharing their phobias, embarrassment, or stigma, you could use ChatGPT. I prefer to use Claude just because the questions are sometimes more detailed. Sometimes they're better written. GPT might give you the 20 questions that you requested, but I prefer the Claude model. I think that it really helps a lot. But whatever information that you're doing, such as class, I advise you to test which model you like the best. So figure out what you like. Don't do what I like. Figure out what works for you and what allows you to learn more efficiently. So now that this is my question deck, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to save these cards. All right, so I'm going to click save. Hopefully it doesn't take too long to save. Sometimes when I'm running these videos or recording these things, sometimes it kind of lags a little bit. So here we are. We're moving on to the next thing here. You can see that my background is changing. It's starting to add these cards back here. Starting to save them into my log where I will be studying from. And here we go. So these are all the questions that I have now for my exam. This is straight from my teacher's transcript. These are, so if my teacher decides to, there's only so many ways she can ask you about schizophrenia, right? There's only so many ways someone can ask you about obsessive or OCD or schizophrenia. It's only so many ways a person can ask you a question. And that's kind of what you want to do, guys. You want to just try to be more efficient, have a system where you're able to test yourself so you're not feeling worried about your exams. So I'll go back to this. Now, I want to say that I'm getting tested on all of the topics in exam 4, just to be clear. So I want to say, since I'm getting tested on all these topics, remember how I changed this and I put an exam date? I'm just going to put active, okay? I'm going to remove the exam date. Now I'm going to change, because everything in this folder, these active learning cards, these transcript lecture cards, even these notes that I took from my PowerPoint, which, let's say you have the PowerPoint, you want to highlight something from the PowerPoint, you can go ahead and create questions directly from the PowerPoint as well. I'll make it 8 questions so it doesn't take too long. You can go ahead and create questions directly from the PowerPoint as well if you wanted to. And that helps you. So however you want to do it, questions from the PowerPoint, questions from the book, questions from wherever that you think you're going to be tested on, you can go to save cards. So now you have questions from the PowerPoint, questions from the book. So I'm going to go back to that exam 4. Now my test is on April 29th. So I want to set an exam date, this entire folder. Right, you want to click this entire folder so we can get tested on all of the stuff we created. So you're going to go here, you're going to click set exam date, this entire folder. My exam is on April 29th. It says start today. Something's going on outside. It says start today. So it's recommending I do 75 max cards a day with 2 repetitions. You could do more if you like. Sometimes if you have a lot of time, do more. Sometimes if you have less time, do less. Don't do less, but do the recommended at least to ensure that you're learning the material. So as you can see, you'll practice the newest cards again to solidify your understanding. You'll learn new cards for the first time. You'll review what you learned. So it's giving you a study plan. And then here, you'll review all cards again just before the exam, retrievability practice to see if you can retrieve it from your brain. And then once you get closer to your exam, you review all cards again just before the exam so you can recall them easily. Then you should be able to be ready for your exam for the retrievability period, meaning like retrieving it directly from memory. So here we go. We'll click confirm exam schedule. And then what you can do is you click practice space repetition. You don't want to do practice all flashcards. You could if you have time and you just want to make sure you're going through the deck. It's your first time. I recommend, going a little bit harder. Like you could follow, what the recommendations are. But, if you're feeling anxious, you're not sure, do the cards. But trust the plan. What I mean by trust what, the amount of cards that it's giving you is telling you to do. So what is the term for repetition for a particular word over and over again? I don't know, echolalia. Nope, I was wrong. It's perseveration. So then you have now, it gives you a rationale as to what is it. It's commonly associated with certain psychological conditions. If you're still unsure, you can ask the AI where you ask follow-up questions. Can you give me a example of I don't even know how to say this word. Perseveration in a sentence. So you can ask. So during the therapy session, the patient kept repeating the phrase, I need to go home, over and over and over. So that shows perseveration, right? And then I have Speechify. I probably will talk.
This illustrates how someone might fixate on a specific phrase without being able to move on to different topics.
So I add Speechify, which is something cool you guys can add if you have a lot of documents that you're trying to read at the same time.
To the repetition of a particular word or phrase, typically in a way that is involuntary and persistent. Here's an example of perseveration in a sentence. During the therapy session, the patient kept repeating the phrase, I need to go home, over and over, showing signs of perseveration. This illustrates how someone might fixate on a specific phrase without being able to move on to different topics.
So you can add Speechify. This is like an add-on that I have that I've purchased Speechify. Like if you're reading large notes and you want to use Speechify, You could definitely use it. I recommend it, especially with the large amount of content. It'll help you get through a lot of the content quickly as somebody's reading and you're reading over it as well. I hope this video was helpful. Again, please use the practice spaced repetition feature, because if you don't remember something, it basically times you. Like, okay, let's say you click the wrong answer by mistake, you could click skip. If you don't remember, you click forgot, and it'll show you the question again in a minute. If you partially recalled it, like, you kind of struggle, partially recall will show you the card in 12 hours. If you recalled it with effort, it'll show you in 24 hours. If you like, man, this question was easy, it's going to show you this question in 4 days because you already know it. So you kind of really don't need to see it so much, but it's going to test you again in 4 days to make sure that you didn't forget about it. I hope this video was helpful. Again, if you like this video, subscribe. I try to make this as detailed as possible in one shot, so you guys have your own how to use RemNote and set up RemNote efficiently, to allow you to have good study methods and good study times. Here's my stats. I've been studying every day for my exams. My last exam, I scored really well. I got a 70 out of 75, and I've just been practicing every day. These last 2 days that you're seeing here, which is a gap in performance, it was day after exam. I took a day off, and now today I'm now preparing for exam 4, which is due on the 29th. And as you can see, when we go to flashcards, right, you're going to see that I have 19 days to my exam. So a constant reminder is telling me out of 306 cards, I have 74 due. Then you can click practice. Have a good one. Smart CRNA, subscribe, share with your friends. RemNote is king, and it will change the way you learn in CRNA school and make you feel a lot more stress free and a lot more confident on your exams. Good luck.